What if you had a chance to have a comic book shop? What would you do with it? Listen to find out more. Hey there, comic fam. Welcome back to Climbing Comics. I'm Alan, and in today's sesh, we'll be doing something a little bit different. I'll be answering a question and bringing on a buddy of mine to help me answer that question. The question is, what if we were able to have our own comic book shop? What would we do with it? So I'm going to bring my buddy in. Everyone, please welcome my buddy Johnny.
Hey, what's up, Alan?
Hello,
Here's my cat
hello.
Merlin to the side here.
Hey,
Also
Merlin.
enjoying this podcast we have.
Perfect, perfect.
It's a little
Yeah,
show.
so let's start off with this. So this question came up from a buddy of mine, pretty fly for a Filipino guy. He messaged me on Instagram and he asked me this very deep question. We would consider it deep, right? What if we had the opportunity to have a comic book shop? What would we put in it?
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
I think this is one of those classic questions because if you ever really like something, like say like rock climbing or cars or comic books, there's always that question of like, hey, what if you know what if like I just made this a full-time thing? Because everyone always says you never work a day in your life if you do what you love. So
yeah,
this is sort of in that vein of thought there.
yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah.
So yeah, let me add some caveats to this, right? Because
Mhm.
this is our dream, right? Let's say that money was not an issue. Let's say let's say bills were not an issue, and you could just have your own comic book shop. Let's pose it that way. So there's less constraints.
Well, that's funny because like a comic book shop has like probably has so many money concerns, but it is fun to think of it that way though, because I just think back to comic book shops that I've seen online, not in person, but
Mm-hmm.
uh you've ever see videos of people going around Mile High Comics or
Mm-hmm.
some older places like that where it's a warehouse and they
Oh yeah,
have everything. They have like props, they have art,
yeah.
and yeah, I would want
So
something like that if money wasn't
okay,
a problem.
all right. So okay, I'm gonna pose this question to you first, Johnny.
Yeah.
So let's say with the experience that you've had from all of your different comic book shops that you've either been to yourself or you've seen online, if you could make one yourself, like what type of books would be in it? Like, is it only comics? Like what type of comics? Would you
Yeah.
have other things that are non-comic related in there? What is your general dream for a comic book shop?
Well, so like part of my dream is also, or so it's either one end where it's like some type of crazy giant place where you just have everything. It's like
Yeah.
they have no limits. But my other thing that I think about is what if I really try to do it, or maybe work with someone who's really trying to do it. And part of what I would want to do is like having this type of business model where you would have people pay to be members, and then those members would have benefits of some type. Like I
Uh-huh.
gotta, maybe you could have like, preview access to some new stuff that I could have bought from a guy, from some dude who has like thousands of comics. I say, hey, premium members, you have access to look at these comic book firsts, and you can buy them
Oh,
if you want.
okay.
And I sort of like that thought because we sort of live in this economy now where it's like Patreons and stuff like that, where the content is free, but then you still pay to just
Yeah, to
be.
support
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you want to just support.
exactly. And I think there's so many comic book people out there who are like us, who are like, oh hey, I like having a comic book shop in my community, so let me pay to be a member, and then
Yeah.
let this thing grow together. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Like it's a very
All right.
practical dream, but those are the dreams I
Yes.
have. It's like very practical.
No, that's good. That's good. That's really good. Um,
And
s-
yeah, and like one more thing is that I would not stock things that you could find on on Amazon, because why would I never understood that model for that business model for any like bookstore where it's one price, it's retail at the store, but like cheaper on Amazon. That's got to be a tough thing to sell to people. So
Oh yeah, that's
I,
kind of rough.
yeah, I would definitely keep it just to floppies, which is kind of different because I see so many shops have graphic novels now, and I think,
Yeah.
I don't know, like why would I just get it? Why not just get it online or read it on Marvel Unlimited or something like that?
Yeah.
So I would definitely focus my business on floppies and
Okay,
just
that's
make it all
good.
about that. Floppies and art.
Floppies and art. Yes.
Yeah, and the art of various types like posters, local artists, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like somehow like build a relationship with uh an artist. Like I don't know if you're super cool like with like Pepe Larraz, right? Like you were looking at his stuff. Like what if you were
Yeah.
a comic book shop owner and you just built a rapport with them and you just stocked his stuff there, and then you'd be
Yeah.
known at that shop. And that'd be cool too.
Okay.
Yeah, that would
Nice.
be my dream comic book shop. What about yours, Alan?
So okay, let me start this off because I think my viewers are not used to me wearing a collared shirt. So FYI today, I
Yeah.
bring Johnny on. He came on with a collared shirt, so obviously I had to match him. And we're talking some business, so why not, just escalate. So for me, I took a slightly different take on this, right? Speaking about business models and comic book shops that I've been to, I would build my comic shop around all different types of people. Of course, I would want to, like, my main focus are the comic folks, right? And I know we talked before about a lot of comic book shops also have to diversify. They have Pokemon tournaments, Magic tournaments,
Yeah.
D&D, all that type of stuff. And a lot of people who don't really know comics it might be a little daunting to go into a shop without having lots of knowledge without going in there. For me, I try to make it a very inviting place, right? So I was imagining this. So you walk in and it's not it's super high ceilings, and then like you mentioned, there's like art, there's comic books everywhere. But what's stocked in the front are both comic books that are much so related to what people know, right? They're
Mhm.
your normal superheroes, but also just mixed in like a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of horror, a little bit of this and that. Because like when people come in and they don't know exactly what to get, you don't want them to go in the dregs of your shop to try to figure that out, right?
Yeah. No, and that's a really great point because I think a big part of this hobby sustaining is to just be open to more people joining it, or
Yeah,
else it's just going to be like the same people going in the shop. So, yeah, I think it's a great
exactly.
idea. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is have mostly, honestly, okay, if I had the opportunity, I have multiple shops. One shop would be just moderns, and one shop would just be all kind of older stuff like Silver Age, and older stuff that's harder to find. So people could, you know, dive into boxes and whatnot. But I'd want a heavier stock of older books so people could read the source material. Like for you, would you have a little bit of a 50-50, or would you kind of lean more modern or silver or even older?
Oh boy. I mean, yeah, like I like the idea of like going through boxes and like
Mm,
finding gems. So yeah, like maybe that could fit into my whole like member benefit thing where it's like, hey, I just
yeah,
got a big box of random Silver Age and Golden Age stuff. Members, you can have your first dibs at going through them.
nice.
That could be pretty
Nice.
fun. But I don't know, like I don't know
I like
how.
your idea. I like your
Right, the
membership
member
idea.
thing couldn't work, and I always feel self-conscious bringing that up with actual comic book shop owners because they'll be like, "Wait, you actually don't know anything about this business,
Well,
gang."
we're again, let's be real. Like none of us know, like neither of us know about running a comic book shop business. This is
Yeah,
just for fun,
yeah, this is just
just to
for
kind of
fun.
talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you actually have a comic book shop, you're probably like rolling your eyes right now, thinking about all the numbers that wouldn't add up. But
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah, I would definitely love to have a wide array of stuff. Like I like the whole Mile High comic books like idea of a warehouse. So
Mm,
yeah, like that
mhm.
could be like one shop like out in the boonies or something where people could drive out to and like have a good hunt and find
Yeah.
books like that. Like
Yeah.
they're like they're at a comic book convention and they're just like rifling through books. It's pretty fun.
Totally. So I'm gonna bounce off of your subscription idea, but I think I would want to do something different because one of the things that I've wanted to learn this year and I've had to teach myself is like, hey, why don't you come to my shop and I'll do a workshop on this is how you grade a book. I'll do a workshop on, oh, this is how you clean a book. I'll do a workshop on this is how you like press a book. Because I think a lot of people, there's a lot of trial and error, and it's a big investment to, you know, get all of the materials you need to do cleaning and pressing on your own. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like this could be like a good way to bring people in and say like, hey, we'll also clean and press your books for you if you want, and then kind of go in that direction because I think having that knowledge and spreading that knowledge is probably what will bring people back more and more and more. So
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's, that's so funny because it reminds me of some restaurants where you can see the kitchen and like see everyone cook. Yeah,
exactly.
that's the idea, right? It's like, hey, yeah, now I
Yeah.
can see them like as this t-shirt press and like put water over it and see it like and like, iron out a book.
I don't
I
think
never
people
seen
put
that.
water over it, but see, that's
Yeah, but
why you would
yeah,
come.
like
You would
uh,
come.
they gotta do something to moisture. Yeah, see, I have no idea. And yeah,
It's a
I would
water
like to
bath.
see that. It's a
There's
water.
yes.
No, are you serious?
They
It's a
don't
water bath?
no, but you kind of put it in an area that's humid. You don't put it
Human.
inside
Yeah,
of
yeah.
water.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
so cool
but
to see. Yeah.
what outside of that, so I was lucky enough when I traveled out of country last year to
Mhm.
a comic shop in Europe, and one of the things that I just wandered through that store like felt like hours, and it's because all of the stuff that they had there was not just comic related. They had like anime, they had manga type stuff, and they had a ton of statues. Like I'd want like this place if money was no issue and I had all the space, it would be kind of like a museum, right? Where like you would have like
Yeah.
these these super awesome like huge statues, this like big pieces of art, and then like people just walk through and check them out. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh man, that reminds me of going to comic book conventions and seeing the booth for like sideshow
Yeah.
collectibles. And yeah, just walking through all of the glass cases of the really cool looking statues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's funny because I think a lot of this, if money was an issue, would totally recreate that comic book con experience. Like,
Yeah.
even some local shops bring in local writers and artists to come in and do signings and stuff. So I would definitely have
Yeah.
that, and that's very comic book con-esque. But yeah,
Yeah. That's a really good idea. And just like I think just like museums, they bring in certain pieces of art and then they rotate. So like
yeah,
that would be cool to like form partnerships with artists and just rotate through just so you keep things fresh and you keep things like nice and lively and stuff.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
All this
Yeah.
stuff should actually happen, Alan. Man, these are all great ideas.
These are all great ideas.
Yeah.
And to for me, like when people exit, people always say that or there's what is that Banksy movie? It's like exit through the gift shop.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, there's a.
I would make it so that like once you exit or like as you're exiting, there's more stuff for you to kind of like peruse and kind of just bring you back somehow. Somehow like you leave with something. Either it be a good experience with a good book or with something. You leave with something. Like it doesn't have to be physical, but that would be I would want my comic book shop to be an experience.
An
That's
experience.
that's
Yeah, exactly.
basically how I would want it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
know that's you can't it's hard to do, like, but
I know,
that
right? No, it's funny though because what you're describing is a thing. Like every year, I think there's a Eisner Award for the best comic book shop, and I
yeah,
think it's awarded to shops that capture what y- you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
The place I visited actually had that on their to-go bag. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
right,
"Oh,
right, right. Yeah.
Eisner winner, blah, blah, what year it was." So it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So,
Very cool.
yeah, let's pose this question to our viewers, our listeners in the comment section below. What would you want in your comic book shop if money was no issue? My friend Pretty Fly would also say he would also have like a coffee shop that's like inside there so people could sit and read and just enjoy books. I would do exactly the same thing. I would put like, super older modern books that are tattered up over there, and it's just be a library for people to go see. But for the listeners, what else would you have in your comic book shop other than comics? Write that in the comment section below. So any closing words, Johnny?
No, yeah, I love watching your stuff, Alan. I think it's gotten like better and better over time, and I look forward to the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you. If you guys haven't known, Johnny is one of my biggest inspirations for even getting back into comics. We talked comics almost every day pre this pandemic. Yeah, the fact that we have the podcast together, check out our podcast, Comic Journey, on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And we do that every week. And this is how we kind of maintain and keep our friendship going and get to talk about comics. And it's all just fun. So
good times.
Good times, very good times. So this will be one of our first of a series of what ifs, where we bring up lots of different topics where either Johnny or myself could just talk about it and answer a question and ask you guys, how would you answer that what if question? So hopefully you guys could join us on this what if journey. So from our comic journey to yours, make it your own. Thanks all. Bye.